Okay, we're sitting here with the mayor of Vienna, Hobby Stripling, talking about his volunteer fire department and the facility they have, and we're discussing the grant or loan application process that led to the construction of this facility. So I want to start off with just a simple question of how this project got going. How did you start?
Well, this was begun before I was elected as mayor. Previous administration got in contact with a local person here who was willing to build this station with the fire department, members of the fire department, creating a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
And the city entered into a lease agreement for this facility. And then the total cost of this facility under that lease would have been $1,989,396 under that lease agreement. Yeah. When I became mayor, and I found out about the lease when I started signing those checks, I realized that there might be a better way to finance the building than what we had. So I contacted the U.S. Department of Agricultural Rural Development in Athens. It just so happened that I knew the acting director at that time, and I asked him if they would have any money for facilities. And he says, just so happens we do have some money for facilities. And so I asked him if he would to please send someone down to talk to us, let's see if we could get something going in trying to get this financed through them rather than the way it was financed. So he contacted the area director down in Tifton and Mr. Council and Fred Council, and he got in touch with us up here, and we arranged a meeting. And it just so happened, though, that the acting director at that time also was in the area, and so Donnie came down he came down with the area director, and so we brought him over, showed him the building, and asked them, if they would assist us, and they said they would certainly try.
Okay.
And I asked what the interest rate would be, and they said not more than 3%.
Right.
And the plan that we were under was over 5%.
Yeah.
And so that was, that in itself was quite a bit of savings. And but anyway, the USDA Tifton office was very, very, very helpful. They came down on at least a dozen occasions to help us in completing the application process and all the other things that need to be done. It seems to me that that local governments are not taking advantage of USDA Rural Development for facilities, because now we did not qualify for a grant for this. It was strictly a loan, but under certain circumstances you can qualify for a grant in addition to the loan amount.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit more in detail about what the application process was like in terms of the documentation that you needed, the timeline? You mentioned that USDA Rural Development walked you through the process in certain ways.
Yes.
Can you maybe give us some examples of what they did to help you?
Yes. They, as I said, the area supervisor, she was assigned to us, and she came down and with the actual forms, with the application process, with the application, and helped us to actually complete the application.
Okay.
And
Very hands-on process.
Very hands-on. Very, very hands-on. And the timelines for it kept shifting a little bit because, as most federal programs, they have to have all of the I's dotted and all the T's crossed. But with her help, and actually the city, my city administrator, Michael Bowens, and worked with her on an ongoing basis, and so, but the process as he explained it, to the council as we went through that, it was very, very easy in that she helped so much.
In terms of now that we're sitting in the finished product and we're looking at the other buildings that you have, how would you describe, or how would you summarize your work, your cooperation with USDA? What would you have as lessons, or what kinds of advice would you have for other cities who are considering maybe applying for a grant or a loan for something similar like a fire station?
Well, my advice is, reach out to the USDA Rural Development. They want to help. They really do. They want to help, and they are most willing to try to do whatever they can in order to make something work. I found that back in my previous tenure as mayor, we through working through the CBDG programs and those type of programs. Just about all of the governments apply for those. But it seems that not a whole lot apply for this type of help. And it is available, and they would like very much to be a part of assisting any local government in trying, if they qualify, in trying to provide them with whatever kinds of assistance they need.
And that includes, as you mentioned, going down to a city, helping with the paperwork, guiding you through the steps.
Absolutely. As I said, I can't say enough about the Tifton office, the helpfulness that they were. It was just amazing how they came in, and any questions we had, they came in on a pretty regular basis and wanted to know, how's things coming, and that type of thing. And it was a very, very positive project from beginning to end.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.